Under a vast, ink-black sky where stars shimmer like forgotten promises, the story begins on a remote reservation in the 1950s. In the silence of the night, a dedicated night watchman embarks on his solitary rounds along dusty paths and under the watchful gaze of ancient trees. The atmosphere is heavy with a sense of impending change. Every whisper of wind and every rustle of leaves hints at secrets buried deep within the fabric of everyday life. The watchman, a guardian of both physical space and cultural legacy, holds a heavy burden, a secret that speaks of a looming government threat. The landscape around him is both familiar and mysterious, where the soft glow of moonlight reveals traces of a storied past intertwined with a future uncertain. In this quiet moment, the narrative unfolds as both history and mystery converge, casting long shadows that merge the tangible with the unseen. The watchman's steady pace is measured not only by his footsteps but by the weight of responsibility he carries every night. Every stone, every whisper of the wind through the grass, tells a tale of a people whose traditions and existence are at risk of being erased by powerful forces beyond their control. As the watchman glides along his route, his internal musings echo the collective fears of his community and the unspoken resolve to preserve their identity. In the heart of the reservation, where ancestral memories linger like soft echoes in a sacred valley, history weaves its intricate tapestry. The narrator guides us through the storied past of the indigenous Ojibwe and Chippewa peoples, whose traditions have been passed down through generations. During the turbulent 1950s, when government policies threatened to erase entire ways of life, the community clung to its customs with quiet resilience. Rituals, songs, and spiritual beliefs formed the backbone of their existence, and every element of the land, the rivers, the forests, and the open skies, was infused with meaning. The narrative unfolds against the backdrop of an era marked by exploitation and harsh political maneuvers, as the government sought to assimilate native communities and diminish their cultural significance. It is within this charged atmosphere that the watchman and his community stand as living testaments to an enduring legacy. Amid whispered secrets of forbidden ceremonies and the silent power of old legends, there emerges a palpable tension between modern political ambitions and the unyielding force of heritage. Every ritual performed beneath the night sky serves as a reminder of the past's vitality, while the specter of cultural termination looms as an ever-present threat. Through the narrator's voice, we come to understand not only the historical significance of these traditions but also their role as shields, preserving the hearts and hopes of a people determined to survive against overwhelming odds. In the quiet hours of darkness, the watchman takes center stage, a man whose steady gaze and measured steps conceal a secret capable of altering the fate of his entire community. With every patrol, the narrative reveals layers of inner conflict, the burden of knowing that governmental forces threaten not just the land, but the very essence of indigenous identity. As he wanders familiar routes, his mind drifts to ominous premonitions and cryptic warnings received in hushed tones. He clutches a truth that, if revealed, could unravel carefully maintained balances between tradition and modern oppression. His nightly routine is a ritual in itself, a silent vigil against both tangible dangers and the intangible erosion of cultural memories. In his eyes, one sees both the weariness of solitude and the fierce determination to keep age-old secrets alive. The watchman's world is painted in shades of twilight, where the constellations seem to whisper ancestral guidance and the wind mourns silently for lost histories. Every step he takes is laden with symbolic significance, reflecting both the physical journey along the reservation's rugged paths and the metaphysical journey through personal sacrifice and communal duty. Beneath the cloak of darkness, his secret pulses like a hidden flame, a beacon of resistance against forces intent on rewriting history and erasing identities. His internal struggle is both a personal trial and a mirror to a larger cultural battle, where the right to exist as a people is constantly under siege by the ruthless march of external powers. Beyond the solitary figure of the watchman, the broader community grapples daily with the menacing specter of government interference. The narrator paints a vivid picture of village life, where families gather in humble council, and elders share stories imbued with wisdom and caution. In the early light of each new day, the community faces the harsh reality of political forces that view indigenous existence as an obstacle to progress. Government agents and bureaucrats, steeped in the language of policy and assimilation, threaten to dissolve the cherished customs that bind the people together. Yet, within this climate of fear and uncertainty, the spirit of cultural survival burns brightly. Community meetings held in dim, Unassuming rooms become havens of shared resolve, where whispered plans and secret strategies form the blueprint of resistance. The narrator details moments of raw emotion, a communal sorrow for lives disrupted, coupled with a defiant hope that generations past can rise to confront modern oppressions. The collective identity of the reservation is woven through every act of defiance, from preserving sacred rituals to the quiet rebellion of continuing long-held traditions despite mounting external pressures. As government policies tighten their grip, the community rallies around its heritage, turning each challenge into an opportunity to reaffirm their existence. It is a poignant reminder that for these people, survival is not merely a matter of physical endurance but a sacred duty to uphold a legacy that spans centuries. Amid the unfolding drama on the reservation, a young woman emerges, a spirited niece whose determination is as palpable as the pain of loss etched on her heart. With her family torn apart by sudden disappearance and unspoken secrets, her personal tragedy becomes a catalyst for an extraordinary journey. The narrator introduces her as both graceful and resolute, a reflection of the community's enduring strength. Her determination to unravel the truth behind her sister's mysterious loss drives her away from the familiar terrain of the reservation toward the vast uncertainties of urban life. Every memory of her late sister, tenderly recalled through silent moments of reflection, fuels her quest. The emotional weight of family tragedy is interwoven with the broader struggle of cultural survival, as she represents not just an individual seeking answers, but a new generation refusing to let the ravages of time and oppressive forces dictate their destiny. In her eyes, there is a blend of sorrow and fierce purpose, a silent vow that the legacy of her family and community will be honored. The narrative captures her internal conflict, the pull of home, imbued with ancestral whispers and the comfort of familiar rituals, standing in stark contrast to the uncertain, dangerous path that lies ahead. As she prepares for her journey, the memories of her sister and the teachings of elders form a quiet symphony of inspiration, urging her to confront the past and shape a future free from government-imposed erasure. Stepping away from the sanctuary of the reservation, the niece enters the pulsating heart of a bustling urban landscape, a world of bright signs, crowded sidewalks, and hidden dangers lurking in every corner. The narrator leads us through this stark transition, describing the city as an arena where cultural dislocation meets ruthless modernity. The neon glow on rain-soaked streets contrasts sharply with the earthy hues of her home, and every alleyway seems to whisper of illicit deals and broken promises. Here, in the labyrinthine urban sprawl, the niece encounters obstacles that test both her physical endurance and her unyielding spirit. The risk of exploitation, the cunning of shadowy figures, and the relentless pursuit by unsympathetic agents create an atmosphere thick with suspense. With each step, she pieces together fragments of information about her sister's disappearance, encountering cryptic symbols and half-truths that hint at dangerous conspiracies intertwined with larger government plots. As the separate paths of the Watchman and his determined niece draw closer in purpose, the narrative reveals how their individual quests are interwoven by a larger, more sinister truth. The Watchman's silent patrols and the niece's urban investigation, though worlds apart, echo with a common rhythm, a desperation to protect and reclaim what is endangered. Across the reservation and the city's labyrinth, subtle hints connect acts of defiance against governmental overreach to personal tragedies that have shaken their lives to the core. In a series of interlocking moments, confidential messages and clandestine contacts emerge as converging links between the Watchman's warnings of an impending government threat and the buried leads uncovered by his niece. The narrator describes these intersections with meticulous detail, a shared emblem carved into an old, weathered tree on the reservation, a brief encounter with a mysterious informant, and fleeting, unspoken gestures that speak of long-hidden alliances. In a twilight realm where the tangible meets the ethereal, the narrative delves into the mysterious interplay of ancient faith and modern political ambitions. The Watchman, whose soul is steeped in the lore of his ancestors, experiences fleeting moments where supernatural visions and cryptic omens intrude upon his nightly vigils. Ethereal lights dancing on the horizon and soft murmurs that seem to spring from the depths of the earth infuse his journey with a mystical aura. The narrator reveals that these otherworldly encounters are far from random. They are echoes of ancestral guidance that protect the community from imminent peril. Likewise, the niece, even in the midst of urban perils, finds herself haunted by vivid dreams and inexplicable signs that hint at the same spectral forces. In the confluence of dreamlike symbolism and relentless political machinations, Each event seems charged with dual meaning. In the closing moments, the narrative reflects on the intertwined journeys of the Watchman and his niece, a legacy of secrets, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to cultural survival. The revelations uncovered amidst governmental plots and personal tragedies serve as both a warning and a beacon of hope for a community determined to uphold its heritage.